Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Robin and this is Knotting Hook Crochet, and today we are going to work on this mosaic pattern that I came up with. Hopefully it's an original, but I doubt it, because is there anything really original out there anymore? Probably not. So this is a fairly easy pattern. It is a pattern repeat of 16 plus 4. So on this example, I used 2 so you can see how that they would look side by side. Now on the screen, I'm sure the colors look completely different than what they are. But this is a mauve and toffee. The camera does weird things with the colors. So we're going to use different colors. I'm going to use a light gray, which is a Premier Basics, and I love this yarn, Marled Denim. I love the two colors together. So here is my chart. You probably can't see the whole thing that I came up with. From the bottom border to the top border, it's 27 rows. And I felt like it needed the border in between to kind of break it up. These here represent my border stitch on both sides so that I wouldn't forget. And I boxed in my repeats with a red line, so that, you know, if I decided that I wanted to continue and do multiples across, I know where to go back to on my repeat. And I'd like to make it big enough to where I can see what I'm doing here. Because, you know, as we get older, we don't see quite as well. So I already started. I chained 20 because it's a pattern repeat of 16 plus 4. I did the first 2 rows. I chained 20. I did the back bump single crochet, and the second row, with the exception of my border stitches, I did a back loop single crochet. So we're going to start off on row 3. And if you want to crochet while I am doing this, you pause the video here and get caught up by chaining 20 and working your first 2 rows. And with Mosaic, you change colors every other row. So we are back to the gray for row 3. And I'm going to start with my border stitch by doing a standing single crochet. And then the first stitch of the row is a drop down double. So you yarn over, drop down to the front loop of that first gray row, and do a double crochet. And then we're going to do 3 back loop singles. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to drop down and do a double. And you go for your next stitch, just come straight down, go through that front loop, and do a double crochet. You're always going to leave the one behind your double crochet, that stitch, empty. So then you're going to come over and do 3 back loop only single crochets, and then drop down for a double. So that is your repeat on this row. You start with the double, and then you do 3 back loop only singles, a double, 3 singles, a double, and continue on across your row. And your last stitch before your border stitch should be a double crochet. And I am at that. I made it. I counted right. I didn't skip anything. I got my double, and then the border stitch is going under both loops and doing a regular single crochet, and then you're going to fasten off and get ready to change colors for the next row. So you should look like this now. Row 4, we switch to color B. We'll call our background color A, and our other color, which is going to create our pattern, B. This one is a very simple row. We're going to fasten on with a standing single crochet, and then we are going to do back loop only single crochets all the way across until the very last stitch, which is your border stitch, and then you do a normal single crochet. You would pick up both loops. Now, I had someone tell me that in a different video on bucket hat that I went way too fast, that they're an absolute beginner. And if that is the case, you can go to the little gear at the bottom of your screen, you know, where the video area is, and you can slow down the speed of the replay so that you can see what is going on at a slower pace. Now, it might sound funny, but you can slow the video down. Same things if I'm going too slow for you. If you are more advanced and just want to get through the video, you can also speed up the replay. And it might sound like you have a chipmunk talking, but you can speed up the process of the play. Okay, so we made it to the end. We did our border stitch, fasten off, and we're ready to go back to the next color for row 5. So, slip knot. We're going to do our border stitch. Okay. And then row 5. It's another simple one. It is just back loop only, single crochet all the way across. So you do that till you get to the very last stitch, and then it's your border stitch. And I'd just like to take a second here to say, like, comment, subscribe. It's all free. It helps the channel out. But what really helps the channel out is if you actually watch the video to the end. So we're doing back loop only single crochets all the way across. There are 17 of them, and 2 border stitches gives us our 19 stitches that we need for this sample. I gotta let the cat out of the room. Hang on. Okay, fasten off. That's how you should look. Let me let the cat out. Okay, so row 6, we're back to color B. I'm going to do a slip knot. Fasten on with a standing single crochet. And then we do 6 drop down double crochets. So you yarn over, go down to the same color of the row below, of the same color as your working yarn, and do a double. And you're going to do that 6 times. 3, or that's 2. I'm on 3. 4, 5, and this is the last one. It is 6. And we want to make sure we leave 6 empty stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the next one we're going to work into is right there. And we're going to do 5 back loop only single crochets. Three, 4, and 5, and then 6 drop down doubles. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one is number 6. We have 1 stitch left on the row. That is our border stitch. We go under both loops and do an ordinary single crochet, fasten off, cut, and we're ready to go back to color B for row 7. Okay, slip knot. We're going to fasten on with our border stitch. And we're going to do 6 back loop only single crochets. And a little trick is if the stitch underneath right below you is a double, it's going to be a single on top of it. When you end up in areas like this, that's when you really need to pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, so we want 6 back loop only single crochets. You know what? I just realized my gray is not my background color. That's all right. My denim, marbled denim is my background color. Okay, so we did 6. Now we want to do 1 drop down double, and then 3 back loop only singles, making sure that we leave this stitch empty. So 1, 2, 3, and then a drop down double. And then 6 back loop only single crochets, making sure we leave that stitch behind there empty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then our border stitch is a regular single crochet. We're going to fasten off, cut, and we're moving on to row 8. So slip knot, fasten on with a standing single crochet, and we're going to do 4 drop down double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 3 back loop only single crochets. It's 1, 2, and 3, 3 doubles, 1, 2, and 3. Now we have 3 singles. It's 1, 2, and 3. And we should end with 4 doubles and our border stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the border stitch. And fasten off and cut. So after 8 rows, this is how you should look. Going back to our other color, for row 9, slip knot and fasten on with a standing single crochet, and then we're going to do 4 back loop only single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 double, 7 back loop only singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, then 1 double, and 4 back loop only singles, and then our very last stitch will be our border stitch, which is a regular single crochet. Okay, see how we're looking so far? We're ready for row 10. So we're already a third of the way through this. That's pretty quick. It's a fast little pattern to do. Okay, so switching colors, making a slip knot, fastening on with a standing single crochet. And we're going to do the very first stitch is a double. And then we do 4 back loop only singles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we do a double. And then 5 back loop only singles. And a double. Four back loop only singles. and 1 double. And then we finish the row with our border stitch. Fasten off and cut. Okay, so that is how you are looking after 10 rows. Row 11, slip knot and fasten on with a standing single crochet. We're going to do 1 back loop only single and then 1 double. Four back loop only singles. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 double. 3 singles. 1 double. 4 singles. 1 double. 1 single, back loop only, and then your border stitch is a regular single crochet and fasten off. And that is 11 rows. Changing colors again for row 12. Okay, this one's a little more complicated. Row 12, we're going to fasten on with a standing double. We're going to do 1 double. Did I say standing double? I meant standing single if I did. So standing single, double crochet, back loop only, single, then a double, then 2 back loop only singles, and a double, a single, and a double, a single, and a double, and a single, and a double. So you should have double, single, double, single, double, single, double, to where there are 4 doubles there. Okay, so 2 singles, back loop only, 1 double, 1 single, 1 double, and end with your border stitch of a regular single crochet and fasten off. Okay, so you should look like this now. Going back to our gray. We are on row 13. I'm going to fasten on with a standing single. We're going to do a back loop only single and then a double. Two singles, 1 and 2, and then a double. Then a single. So you're going to alternate single, double, four times. So single, double, single, double, single, double, single, and double. So we had it 4 times. Now it's 2 back loop only singles, 1 and 2, a double, back loop only single, and the border stitch. Okay, that is how we're looking now. After 13 rows, row 14, switching colors, fasten on with a standing single crochet, and we do 1 double, and 4 back loop only singles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we want a double, one single, 1 double, 1 single, 1 double, 1 single, 1 double, 4 back loop only singles, 1, 2, 3, and 4, a double, and then our border stitch, and fasten off. Okay, so that's like the bottom section of the pattern, this part here. Okay, so you could say we're halfway. Okay, row 15, back to the gray. Going to fasten on with our border stitch. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 back loop only single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then a double. And then 8 back loop only single crochets to the end of the row where you will do your border stitch. Okay. Row 16. We are just cruising right along here. Back to our other color. Slip knot. Fasten on with a standing single. Our first stitch is going to be a double. And then 4 singles, back loop only. 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to go double single 4 times. So double, single, double, single, double, single. This is our last double for our 4 times. Okay, so we have 4. And then we do 4 back loop only singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, then a double, and our border stitch. And fasten off. That was row 16. Row 17. Back to the gray, making a slip knot. Fasten on with the standing single. Our first stitch is a back loop only single, then a double, two back loop only singles, a double, a single, and a double. So we're back to that rotation again. And it's going to be, we're going to do that till we have 5 doubles. Double single until we have 5 double crochets. So we're at 3. This one will be 4. And this one is 5. Okay, see how we ended up with 5 doubles there? Then we want 2 back loop only singles, 1 double, back loop only single, and last but not least, the border stitch. Okay, so this is how you look now. Really like that color. Okay, moving on. Row 18. Oops, we just did gray. Back to our denim. Okay, so row 18, we do a slip knot and a standing double. Standing double, I did it again. A standing single, and then a double crochet. Then a back loop only single, and next is a double crochet. Then we want 2 back loop only singles, and a double crochet. So we're going to rotate double single until we have 4 doubles. So double, single, double, that's 2, single, double, that makes 3, single, and a double, this will give us our 4. Okay, and then 2 back loop only singles, 1 drop down double, and a back loop only single, and a drop down double, and we're at the very end of the row where we do our border stitch. Okay, this is how you should look. All right, so we're on row 19. Back to the gray. You're going to do your slip knot, fasten on with a standing single. I know what I want to say, but it just doesn't come out right sometimes. Okay, then a back loop only single, then a drop down double, and 4 back loop only singles. Now by this point, if this is your first time doing mosaic overlay, by now you should have realized that you work in the back loop with the singles so that the front loop is available for when you have to drop down with a double. All right, so now we did our 4 back loop singles. We're going to do a drop down double. And then 3 singles, 2 and 3, and then a drop down double. And 4 back loop only singles. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then a double, a back loop only single, and end the row with your border stitch of a regular old ordinary single crochet and fasten off. Okay, looking good. Row 20, we are cruising right along. So row 20, we do a slip knot, fasten on with a standing single, Very first stitch is a drop down double. See if you noticed it when you're using your background color. It's always a drop down for the first and last stitch there because you're framing your pattern. Okay, so we did the drop down double. Now we want 4 back loop only singles. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 drop down double. 5 back loop only singles. 2, 3, 4, and 5. A drop down double. And then 4 back loop only singles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to do a drop down double because of course we are framing our pattern. And our border stitch. Fasten off. Okay, look at how good we're doing. We're going so fast. I'm proud of you guys. Heck, I'm proud of myself. So far, I haven't had to take anything out to fix a boo-boo, knock on wood. Okay, row 21. Back to our gray. We do our slip knot, fasten on with our standing single, and we want 1, 2, 3, 4 back loop only single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then a drop down double. And then 2, 4, 6, 7 back loop only singles. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we do a drop down double. And the rest of the way it is back loop only singles for 4 of them. And then your border stitch. Can't forget about the border stitch. And fasten off. I just love that blue. All right, row 22. Right? Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yep, row 22. Back to our pretty blue. Going to fasten on with the standing single. And we're going to do 4 drop down double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 back loop only singles. So 1, 2, and 3. Then 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3. 3 singles, making sure we have 3 empty spaces behind there. Always remember that the space behind your double is left empty. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 doubles, and then you end the row with your border stitch. So this pattern is exactly the same whether you are right-handed or left-handed. It will come out the same. If you're right-handed, you work from right to left when you're looking at the chart. If you're left-handed, you work from left to right if you're looking at the chart. And it will come out to the exact same thing as this. All right, so this is where we are. We did row 22. We're almost done. Row 23. That's a quick, easy row. So we do our slip knot, fasten on with a standing single. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back loop only single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1 double. 3 singles, back loop only, 2 and 3, and then a double. And 6 back loop only singles, and then the very last stitch will be, of course, your border stitch. That's 5, 6, and border stitch, and fasten off. Holy schmoly, look at us, we are cruising right along. All right, row 24, back to our pretty blue. Fasten on with a standing single. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drop down doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to do 5 back loop only singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then 6 doubles. So when you do these doubles, there's a couple of ways. You can drop down with your hook like that to get underneath it, or you can come down like this. I think it depends on my mood and how many of them, but this is my normal way, is I come down like this. But you always want to go from the underneath and not through the top. You know, that's like there's several different ways to hold the crochet hook. I learned, I believe this is called the knife hold. That's how I've learned, and I've never gotten over it. And I tend to choke up to the hook instead of being way back. But that's just, you know, we all have our own comfort zones. Okay, so we do our border stitch, fastening off, and Look at that. If we weren't doing these pretty borders, the pattern would basically be done. All right, so this next row, row 25, piece cakes, just straight across, all back loop only, single crochets, with the exception of your beginning and ending border stitch. So just back loop it all the way across. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the border stitch. Fasten off. I'm sitting here sweating. I just got my electric bill today and it went up because it's so darn hot here in Florida. So I had to bump up my thermostat a couple of degrees and I'll start to sweat right before it gets ready to kick in. And it's not that it's hot in here, it's just I'm getting old and that's what happens when you get old. Okay, row 26. We're going to back to our background color. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. And it is going to be back loop only, single crochets all the way across with the exception of your 2 border stitches, one at the beginning, one at the end. So just back loop it across. This kind is like, you don't really have to think about it. You can just go. When you get into the patterns, you gotta sit there and count stitches, and if you mess up one, the whole thing is off. But depending on where it is at, it is easy to fix. And I think I showed that in my last 2 mosaic videos. Okay, we're almost. We have, believe it or not, 1 row after this. This went so fast. Oh my gosh, I am just amazed. So I am expecting a yarn delivery today. I got in on Premier's anti-pilling sale that they had, and I ordered some of the DK yarns because I don't have much of a selection on that. I do have quite a bit of a selection on the worsted weight, but I wanted some DK. And I wanted the anti-pilling. And I want a lot of things, but we don't always get that. All right. Anywho, very last row. Back to our gray. And we're going to do a standing single to fasten on. Our very first stitch is a double. And then we're going to do 3 back loop only singles. And drop down for a double. 3 back loop only singles. You might remember this from the very beginning, the first row we did together. And 3 singles and a drop down double. And you're going to alternate all the way across. Your very last stitch, not including your border stitch, should be a double crochet. So it's 3 singles, well, it's a double, 3 singles, double, and you alternate that all the way across. One, 2, 3, and your last stitch before your border stitch should be a double. and border stitch, fasten off. Okay, so that would be one repeat. Isn't that pretty? I love these colors together. So if you were going wider, now would be the time to go higher, this way. So you would come right back to, you just did this, which would be considered this part. So you would start off on row 4 on the chart. You would start with row 4, which makes me realize that either up here, I didn't need to box that in red, or down here, I didn't need to box it in red, because I don't want it doubled. I mean, you could double it if you wanted to, but on mine, I don't want it doubled. So that's it. That was quick and easy, and I thank you very, very much if you're still here. And if you are still here at the end, let me know down in the comments below that you made it through the whole video. It's free. It is free to leave a comment. It is free to hit the thumbs up. And it is free to subscribe. And that is the best way in the world you can show support for any of your favorite YouTube channels, is to like, comment, and subscribe. Even if I'm not your favorite, you can still like and comment and subscribe. What the heck? Anyhow, that's it. There's a side-by-side view. There's what we just did. I love these colors. And we will catch you in the next video.